farmers in Karnataka staged protest against the state government on Saturday over the Hemavathi Express link canal project near Gubbi, through which water would be sent to Magadhi and Ramanagara. Now, some protesters were detained by the police. Farmer leader Govind Raju is among those who were detained by the police. MLAs B. Suresh Gowda, GB Jyoti Ganesh and a group of seers also joined the protest. The protesters sat on the road, disrupting traffic and also burning tires. The protesters called government's plan to divert Hemavathi Canal's water to Bengaluru South District as unscientific. They claim that this project will be detrimental to several taluks of Tumakuru district. And on your screens right now, farmers who staged protest against state government's decision to divert water from Hemavathi, some of whom, including the leader, was detained earlier today. All right, the protesters on your screens right now disrupted traffic, burned tires. They've called on government's plan to divert water from Hemavathi Canal to Bengaluru South District as unscientific. They claim that this project will be detrimental to several taluks of Tumakuru, and that's the reason why they were on streets this afternoon, some of whom have now been detained. My colleague Vajiullah joining us live with more details. Vaji, the protest still continues?
Well, for now, the protesters are still lingering around. They've called off the protest. This is given a warning to the government that by 5th of June, if they do not stop the entire project, then they will come all the way with a lot of farmers and they themselves will cover up the work that has been already done with the Hemavathi link canal that has been supposed to supply water from Tumkuru region, which otherwise is an agrarian region where to Ramnagar or the new Bangalore South. But now with this protest that has taken place, how much will the government continue with this project is something we'll have to know, because the project itself came after a lot of deliberations. 100 crores, 1,000 crores was set aside, like Mr. Parameshwar had just told the press when he just came out of the meeting with the DK Shiv Kumar, the other irrigation minister. Both of them spoke about this to discuss on what can be done. It has been said that when the project was launched, permissions and consent was taken from all the ministers, but now the BJP leaders over there have called the protest. Parameshwar has already called it a politically motivated protest. But we've seen how the farmers have been.
What are the farmers demanding, Vaji? If I may ask, what is their concern with the project?
Well, the concern is that if the water which Tumkur otherwise gets 24 TMC of water, if that water is diverted to Ramnagara through a canal instead of another canal link which has a direct, which is the natural channel, instead of using that, building something like this will only destabilize the water supply system in the particular areas and the surrounding regions which otherwise receives water from this particular canal. So therefore, the protesters have made it very clear to the government that if this is done, then the regions like Tumkuru and the surrounding regions will suffer because of this. And that is why not just the farmers, we've also seen pointers, we've seen Swamis, we've seen politicians who have come to the ground and have protested with regards to this entire thing. They believe that this is an unscientific project without any scientific calculations that have been done, and it will also take away the water that is already in scarcities in this particular region, and that is why the farmers have given it a ultimatum till the 5th of June, and if the things have not changed by the 5th of June, then they will themselves come and cover up the entire canal, where work is already going on.
All right, farmers there giving ultimatum to the government to stop the work on the Hemavathi Canal, for which the government says it had taken all the due permissions as well as planned over several weeks and months. Vajay, thank you very much for joining in for all those details on a crucial story coming from Karnataka. And as monsoons continue to wreak havoc across India, with heavy rains also lashing parts of Karnataka, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has now issued strict directives to all district administration to set up flood preparedness. The Chief Minister has called for proactive measures, directing the Deputy Commissioners and Jila Panchayat CEOs to review flood-prone and landslide-prone areas in the districts. A major push has been made to complete all pre-monsoon work without delay. This includes desilting stormwater drains and clearing encroachment, as well as debris from water canals to ensure smooth water flow during heavy rainfall. On emergency response, Chief Minister stressed on the need for round-the-clock control rooms in all districts. He called for tight coordination among fire, police, health and revenue departments and asked officials to identify and stock up relief centers with food, water and medicine. Chief Minister also directed district in charge secretaries to personally visit vulnerable regions and monitor preparations, with a special focus on coastal, Malnad and low-lying areas which are particularly at risk. Siddaramaiah issued a clear warning. Any negligence will not be tolerated. He said that inaction during rain emergencies will invite strict accountability. And backing the effort, Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Sivakumar has also called on DCs to prepare district-specific emergency plans and submit them to the State Disaster Management Authority. He also instructed all the Zila Panchayat CEOs to ensure Gram Panchayats are also fully involved in local rain response strategies. In a notable move, the Deputy Chief Minister has urged the use of corporate social responsibility funds for setting up emergency infrastructure like temporary shelters, water pumps and safety kits. He also directed all the DCs to coordinate with local industries for additional support in flood-hit zones. And finally, both leaders, the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, stressed on the need for daily reporting during heavy rains to help the government monitor the situation and respond in real time. An early arrival of monsoon has left several parts of India struggling, with rain, as I mentioned earlier, wreaking havoc from north to south, that is Kashmir to Karnataka. Heavy rains, as per the recent forecast, across many parts of the country from north to south. Red alerts have now been sounded in several districts across multiple states. Let's take you to Assam first. Incessant rains have caused severe waterlogging in Assam, which includes Guwahati, disrupting daily life. The IMD has issued a red alert as more rainfall is expected due to a low pressure system, raising the risk of flooding and further disruption. Rainfall triggered landslide also hit Thing and Chungthang in North Sikkim, causing a major property damage. On your screens, the overflowing tributaries and rivers in Sikkim. Officials say that the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. And taking you to Arunachal now, where heavy rain over the past few days triggered flash floods and landslides, leaving at least 9 people dead. And from northeast to north of India, heavy rainfall and hailstorm lashed Jammu and Kashmir, especially the Ramban district, causing disruptions in the region. Parts of Srinagar also witnessed moderate to heavy rainfall, affecting daily life. And moving on, Prime Minister Modi inaugurated several significant infrastructure projects in Madhya Pradesh at an event held in Jambori ground with over 2 lakh women in attendance in Bhopal today. He virtually also launched the 6-kilometer inaugural stretch of the Indore Metro along with Satna and Datia airports. Additionally, he also laid the foundation for key projects including 30 kilometers of ghats along the Shipra River at a cost of 778 crore rupees and other water resource development projects worth over 860 crore rupees. Now, during the event, he also released a commemorative postage stamp and a unique 35-gram 300 rupee coin, the first of its kind globally, dedicated to Devi Ahilyabai. He also presented National Devi Ahilyabai Award to distinguished women artist. Now, while addressing the gathering in Bhopal, Prime Minister Modi also spoke about Operation Sindoor and has reiterated that it became a symbol of our women power. He said, and I quote, "From Jammu, Punjab, Gujarat and borders of Rajasthan, our daughters of the BSF were on the front."
पहलगाम में आतंकियों ने सिर्फ भारतीयों का खून ही नहीं बहाया, उन्होंने हमारी संस्कृति पर भी प्रहार किया है। उन्होंने हमारे समाज को बांटने की कोशिश की है और सबसे बड़ी बात, आतंकवादियों ने भारत की नारी शक्ति को चुनौती दी है। ये चुनौती आतंकवादियों और उनके आकाओं के लिए काल बन गई है, काल। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर आतंकवादियों के खिलाफ भारत के इतिहास का सबसे बड़ा और सफल ऑपरेशन है। जहां पाकिस्तान की सेना ने सोचा तक नहीं था, वहां आतंकी ठिकानों को हमारी सेना ने मिट्टी में मिला दिया। सैकड़ों किलोमीटर अंदर घुस करके मिट्टी में मिला दिया। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने डंके की चोट पर कह दिया है कि आतंकवादियों के जरिए छद्म युद्ध, प्रॉक्सी वॉर नहीं चलेगा। अब घर में घुसकर भी मारेंगे और जो आतंकियों की मदद करेगा उसको भी इसकी भारी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी।
Moving on, India changed its military strategy mid-conflict with Pakistan earlier this month during Operation Sindoor, gaining the upper hand before a ceasefire was declared. India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, has now revealed. Speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Chauhan said that India swiftly adjusted its tactics mid-operations. He said, and I quote, "We went back on the 7th, 8th and 10th of May in large numbers, penetrated all their air defences with impunity, carried out precision strikes," adding that India's Air Force used multiple aircraft types and targeted at least 8 Pakistani air bases. Now, the flare-up between the nuclear-armed neighbours was triggered by the April 22nd terror attack in Kashmir that killed 26 people in India, mostly tourists. On 7th of May, India jets launched strikes on what we have so far maintained, that these were strikes on Pakistan terror infrastructure. Despite heightened tensions, CDS Chauhan and his Pakistani counterpart General Zahir Shamshad Mirza has confirmed that nuclear weapons were never in consideration. Chauhan also said that there was no indication of Chinese involvement on Pakistani side, and while satellite imagery could have been acquired commercially from China, this was a standard practice. Remember, India has now warned that it will respond with precise and decisive action to any future cross-border attacks, with the armed forces on heightened alert.
So we rectified tactics and then went back on 7th, 8th and 10th in large numbers to hit air bases deep inside Pakistan. Penetrated all their air defenses with impunity, carried out precision strikes. So Air Force went into a short mode as to why did this happen. They rectified their tactics and flew in again, and flew all types of aircraft with all type of ordnances on 10th. Now that satellite images for all the strikes are available, not only through Indian media but from global sources, and you would have seen that most of the strikes were delivered with pinpoint accuracy, some even to a meter, to whatever was our selected mean point of impact.
And in a significant diplomatic victory for India, Colombia on Friday officially withdrew its earlier statement that expressed condolences on the loss of lives in Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. This comes after Shashi Tharoor-led delegation expressed disappointment with the country's stance in the immediate aftermath of India's retaliatory strikes. Colombia's Vice Foreign Minister Rosa Yolanda Villavicencio showed confidence in the information provided to Colombian side on the situation in Kashmir. She assured that the dialogue with India will continue and that the misunderstanding has now been solved.
Hemos tenido una reunión con parlamentarios de diferentes partidos, de diferentes regiones de la India, una conversación muy comprensiva donde hemos conocido más en detalle la sensibilidad acerca pues, de los ataques y del conflicto que hay, abogando porque pueda darse y lograrse una solución negociada allí y porque se esclarezcan todos los actos terroristas y pueda conservarse y construirse la paz allí en la región. Abogamos por justamente todas las relaciones sociales y económicas, por fortalecer estos vínculos con India en esta larga relación bilateral que hemos mantenido en ámbitos sociales y de comercio también.
Now, Shashi Tharoor later mentioned that Vice Minister graciously confirmed that the statement India had raised concerns about have now been withdrawn. She also conveyed that Colombia fully understands India's position and India deeply appreciates it.
In fact, the Vice Minister very graciously mentioned they have withdrawn the statement that we had expressed concern about, and that they fully understand our position on the matter, which is something we really value.
And former External Affairs Minister and Congress leader Salman Khurshid on Friday clarified that India did not initiate any contact with Pakistan but rather received a call from Pakistan's DGMO for cessation of hostilities during Operation Sindoor. Now, the all-party delegation member explained that India stopped its action when Pakistan's DGMO requested for cessation of hostilities and that India refrained from any further attack. He also noted that violations continued on the Pakistani sides after 10th of May secession as well, suggesting a lack of control over Pakistani military actions.
I want you to just keep one thing in mind, because one of you had asked, why did we stop when we did stop? Now, it's complete hogwash for anyone to say that we called them first. Why would we call them first? who was at the receiving end by the time that the calls were made. It is more than clear to everybody that the call came from the DGMO of Pakistan. And it came to the DGMO of India. And we stopped when they said, let's stop. But for several hours after we had said that we will stop, and we then didn't send any further attacks on them, the shelling across the border and across the line of control continued. For at least 3-4 hours, there were violations of the ceasefire once again when the shelling continued, making it very clear that in Pakistan nobody seems to be in control. Certainly the civilian government doesn't seem to be in control. And there are factions within the army, each vying with each other to become all-powerful. But nevertheless, we showed restraint and we showed patience.
And meanwhile, CPIM MP John Brithas took a sharp aim at Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir during an interaction with the Indian community in Jakarta on Friday. Brithas questioned Asim Munir's claim that Hindus and Muslims are inherently different in a way that justifies division and conflict.
Asim Munir said something about Hindus and Muslims are alike, different. Can you ever vouch for that? And Salman Khurshid Sahib is here. The Quran says that Allah made the universe. There is no distinction between Hindu and Muslim. We are all together. I said I am from Kerala. At least in my name there is John Brithas. I am a Christian. Kerala, you all know that. We have 3 major religions there. We coexist in harmony. That is the message of India. Now Pakistan has been asking for evidences. I would just cite 2 incidents. Khwaja Asif, the defense minister of Pakistan, in an interview to Sky Television said, we have been indulging in this dirty job of nurturing and harboring terrorist organizations for 3 decades. Even Musharraf said, we all fought Mujahideens, the jihadis came and fought in Afghanistan. After that, they all came and took refuge in Pakistan.
And moving on, Kerala group in Dubai faces backlash now for welcoming Shahid Afridi amid ongoing India-Pakistani tensions. CUBAA event featured Shahid Afridi, sparking outrage as India mourns Pahalgam terror attack. Now, Shahid Afridi's red carpet welcome by Malayali community in Dubai has of course triggered social media uproar. A Kerala community event in Dubai is now facing backlash after warmly welcoming former Pakistani cricketer Shahid Afridi at their event. And although the full details of the event are yet to emerge, media reports suggest that Afridi attended the program organised by Cochin University BTech Alumni Association, the video of which is now widely being circulated on social media. He addressed the gathering and he said that he especially likes the Kerala part of India and its food. And Shahid Afridi was given a red carpet welcome at that event of Pakistan Association Dubai Auditorium on 25th of May. It is now being reported that both Shahid Afridi and Umar Gul, another Pakistani cricketer, were originally invited to another event which was organized by Pakistani Association of Dubai. But they also made an appearance at the CUBAA event. They then paused their schedule and they were given a warm welcome. Since then, the association has now clarified that Shahid Afridi and Umar Gul were not in fact invited. They walked in and have since apologized for hosting Pakistani cricketer at a time when India is still mourning the Pahalgam terror attack. They said that they deeply regret any hurt or offense their actions may have caused. That's the official clarification coming in from the Malayali community that organized that event. Now, what is the CUBEA? It's a Cochin University BTech Alumni Association, which is acronymed as CUBAA. It's a left Islamist organization. That's what we know. Members hold key position of trust and leadership in the diaspora community, mostly consist of Malayali diaspora. And on your screens right now, some of the members of that committee. Remember, they've now come out apologizing for hurting sentiments and also clarified that Shahid Afridi was not invited to their event. He was invited to another event and he happened to drop by as one of the events were ongoing in Dubai.